Welcome, everybody, to the Modern Mysteries podcast. This is episode 11 of our weekly podcast. And as you know from previous episodes, this is a podcast that focuses on natural mysteries and wonders of the world with off-the-press, new information like the previous podcast about monitor lizards who were recently discovered to actually be venomous, unlike the previous hypothesis that they killed via bacteria. This podcast is for those who are looking to add a little mystery back into their 9-to-5 lives. So, in this episode, we will be examining Mexico's Chichen Itza, an ancient pyramid used for sacrifices, and now an exhibit open to the public. I want to share my own personal story about my experience at this unique place. But let's begin with a little information about it. According to its own website, Chichen Itza was a large pre-Columbian city built by the Maya people of the Terminal Classic period. This place is beautiful, and it's built with many mysteries into it. One is that there is a snake that slithers down the mountain during the solstice, and that's the only time you can see it. Another is that they created an alarm system just by a person clapping in a designated area. So what you do is you go to a certain point and you clap, and it makes a noise like a specific bird that was alive during that time. And this alerted the rest of the people in that society that there was something going on. And it still works today. When I visited this place back in 2009, I was excited. What I didn't expect was all the weird things that happened while I was there. My family and I toured the site and examined the ruins and stopped for a break at one of the clapping areas, when suddenly a girl that was standing under a tree screamed bloody murder. She was a really pretty blonde girl. She was wearing a tank top, and she just all of a sudden passed out, and an ambulance was called. Right after she screamed, I looked in time to see a huge red spider fall on the back of her neck. I didn't stand under any more trees after that. And I have no idea what happened to her, but that was just one of the specific things that really made me wonder what mysteries this place has, besides just vicious spiders. So, as I was walking out of the place, it was closing and they were hustling people to get out. I was looking for one last hurrah. And so I was walking through the ruins by myself, and everybody was being hustled towards the exit. Well, I came across this one ruin that I could walk into. You're not supposed to walk into these places. So I thought maybe I can just walk in right before and nobody will see me. Well, I walked in and it got really quiet and really dark. And I really felt alone. So I jumped out and I started walking towards the crowd. And I figured, I'll be a rebel another day. So as I was walking towards the person who was trying to get everybody to exit, the leaves right in front of me started to move. And they spelled out initials, and it was JPG. And that was just beyond me. It was weird. And so my sister had told me a story about a man who was her tour guide when she went to Mexico. And he spoke of sitting on the ruin back when it was okay to do this. And he said that one day he was sitting there and he was talking with a group of people, and he had his hand behind his back to hold him up, and he felt something wet. And when he looked down, he saw blood dripping from his hand down into the ruin, just like it probably looked, back when that place was hustling. So, he looked down and he saw the blood pouring down, and then just in the blink of an eye it was gone. And nobody else knew what had happened. And he went ahead and explained what he had saw, but nobody else saw it. It was just him and his experience. Well, I believe him now, after having my experiences there. Along with those two things that happened to me at Chichen Itza, I just felt really fascinated with, they have these pools of water and they don't have a bottom, and they just go on into the earth and nobody knows where they go. And they've done projects where they've gone in and they've salvaged stuff out of there. And what they found was that's where they were sacrificing young girls and jewelry like jade and turquoise and all this beautiful gold and stuff like that. And it just makes you wonder about what we don't know and what we do know. So I'll ask you this. Have you ever experienced something similar to this? Something that you can't really explain? If you have, please email me at unde1262@bears.unco.edu. The mystery of that place is something that makes it worth visiting. And I really would suggest, if you ever have a chance and you're in Mexico or you're near the area, just stop by. It's like $20 to get in, and it's a good walk, and you just see some beautiful architecture along with the ability for you to experience something maybe you didn't think you would. So stay curious. For my loyal listeners, this has been Modern Mysteries with your host, Laura Brooke. I will see you next time.